Would you like to be able to convert your audience, whether you're on the stage, on a Zoom room, or on Instagram, into clients and have a better conversion rate when they hear you speak? Well, that's what we're going to be talking about today in this episode. This is actually part two of what a Christian female founder should be dressing like. And if we have not met before, welcome. My name is Nikki Henricks, and I am a personal brand stylist. And I create brand aligned wardrobes for female founders just like you to really be seen, remembered, and then hired more quickly. So today I want to dig deep into really you as a speaker and why it's so important to be intentional um, as you are thinking about your business wardrobe, what you are wearing when you are speaking. And like I said, this can be in many different scenarios. It's not just when you are on stage. I want you to think of like basically anywhere you're speaking as a stage, right? It may have different number of audiences, but it's all a stage. And I truly believe that you have a very important message to share to people with your words. And so you really want them to see you, to be focused so that they get every word, right? You want to be remembered as that powerful, anointed female founder of God that that spoke this amazing message, right? And have their brain go back to you when they are looking for someone like you to help them. And you also want to be hired because we can't help people, serve people with the gifts God has given us in our business unless we are hired, right? Um, or only to an extent, right? Really to help them get their true results. Oftentimes we need to work closely with them. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So let's dig into the part. So, like I said, I believe you, female founder, have such an important message that God gave you. Maybe you are a health coach and you want to help people break free from food addiction, honestly, is what it is a lot of times, right? Or just get them free to really live their best life of being able to play with their grandkids, showing up to help at their church to, live longer. And the repercussions of that can be so many and so powerful, right? Or maybe you are a wealth coach and you have valuable information that can help people really be able to understand how to use their money to have an inheritance for their children's children. Maybe to be that first generation to steward their money well and, you know, make memories with their family that the kids will remember forever, or maybe support a ministry. Maybe support a ministry that impacts sex trafficking and hundreds of children are saved. Your message that you have is so very powerful. It is so important. That is why God put it in your heart and He put it in your mind. And being intentional with your business wardrobe is really going to help people like get clicked on and really listen, get focused on you, remember your what you say more, and work with you too. So your message is powerful, but I want to talk about how your business wardrobe, what has to do with you really being seen, heard, and heard, people to understand, and to hire you more, what that has to do with each other. Those three things I just went through. So, really be seen and really help you be focused. So, when you are intentional with your business wardrobe, you can help get people's attention, which is so important, especially if you're on social media, right? Um, and it can, like, so get people's attention and also keep their attention, right? Um, and really be able to like pay attention enough to get all the words, to get the message that you are saying to your audience. So I want you to think of like, and then also I wanted to go into, when we're not intentional, how it can be a distraction. So, first of all, and in this last episode that I did, you can check part one, we really talked about how our clothes are communicating things to people. They're communicating words and they're communicating feeling. For example, I went into, how the color white often represents um, the word pure. Think of women wearing white on their wedding day. I don't know how much it means now in the Christian world, right? That's like what it represents, this pure bride ready to join her husband and start their new life. And so that white is speaking the word purity. Also, kind of more of a feeling, white can also give off this like luxury feeling, right? Think about maybe you are thinking about going to a resort and you see they have like white um, blankets and such, and you get that like that feel of like, ooh, luxury, right? Um, so it gives us feelings, it gives us different words. And so when you are intentional to really even think about just the colors that you have in your business wardrobe and thinking, okay, is this going to speak visually what my best client is looking for? Is this going to make them feel the way that my best client wants to feel with the person? Like if you're a financial advisor, like, is it saying those words and those feelings that they are looking for in a financial advisor? And so wearing those best colors, communicating that can really grab people's attention and help them be focused on you. Start being focused on what you are saying. When you think about like if you've gone to a ladies conference before, a Christian ladies conference before, like how much more likely are you to listen to a woman that you really love her outfit? Then you're like, it's okay. Like you definitely could listen to both and give both attention, but you're much more likely and like interested and almost like, ooh, like cannot wait when you're like, oh my goodness, I love her outfit. And a lot of times we don't know exactly why. We probably may not say exactly why you love their outfit, but if we were really to dig deep, it's the feeling, it's what they're saying through their outfit that we can relate to. Like maybe it's similar to what like who we are, or maybe it's something that we aspire to be. Um, or maybe it's just something we love. So really um having an intentional wardrobe that is going to help them like see those words that they are wanting um, and also feel certain feelings is important to really be seen, get their attention, and also keep their attention so that they will fully like stay focused on you so that as you are starting to speak, it is getting in their brain. I want you to think of like if you had a picture of your family on the wall and like if so you had your picture and then in the picture frame it was like an obnoxious frame, or maybe it was a really old like painted chippy, not the cool the cool like what do they call that, rustic, like wood is falling off and like there's a big like strip of paint gone, just like, and then one side's fine. So it's just a distraction, right? I want you to think of that. Like that can happen in your speaking. When you're speaking, your outfit can help people lean in, but also it can help with make people kind of like become disinterested, really be a distraction. And when they're more focused on, something that's going on, distracting in your outfit, than focused on you, they're going to miss powerful parts of your speech that they need to hear. That got that that powerful message you had from God, they're going to miss some of that. I remember quite a few years ago, I was at my church and there was a conference going on, and some amazing, like very well-known speakers. And I remember Jill just looking at their style and being very distracted because honestly, I can't remember exactly, but I think it was like some of the colors that they were wearing made them look a little tired. And I think some were wearing pieces that just did not work well with their body shape, and those were causing distraction. So I was like focusing on like just thinking about um like why did she choose that color? Like she looks kind of tired, or like um looking like, oh, that's not best for her body shape, and not in like a judging way. Like not like, oh my goodness, why did she wear that? But more of like just wonder, curiosity. And as a stylist, also like why? And does she have a good stylist? But here's the thing is like it's in our human nature to notice when things are off. Like think of if you've ever gone to a house before and you like looked at a beautiful sculpture on the wall that was in a frame, and you like looked at it straight on, and but it was like tilted a little bit, and you're just like you like first you're like, oh, that's a cool sculpture, and then you kind of just like notice how it's tilted, and it's just like, ugh, like it's off. When things are off, we notice it, right? And so that's the same thing. It's like it's not that people are judging other people. It's just creating that imbalance. Maybe it's on their body, like they're wearing something that isn't ideal for their body shape, creates imbalance. It can make people's, like I was thinking, what was that? Um, just recently, I saw a woman wearing a dress, and because she was not dressed with balance in mind, her hips looked like off. Like it was very skinny on top, and her waist looked super skinny, and then her hips just like looked extra wide. Now here's the thing, is like she was very fit. She like a lot of people would describe she has the ideal body shape, the ideal weight. But here's the thing is that like balance, our brain likes balance. Most cases. Sometimes it's fun to have like a little asymmetrical thing going on. But in most cases, like our brain loves balance. And so when there's balance and things like aren't when things are out of balance, it's like it's sticking out. And so like the focus goes on there. And oftentimes when someone is dressing imbalanced, um, like it is it accentuates that part even more than like is really there. I like to tell my clients a lot of times they'll say, you know, make sure that where the pieces end on your clothing are not the widest part of your body. So for example, like shorts, don't, or even a shirt, think about a shirt. Don't let it land so the end of the hem go at the the widest part of like your hips, because just with how the eye works, like it's almost like having this big arrow pointed to that widest part of your body, and it makes your hips look wider than they even are. And so that was the case, like with this woman's dress. It was a little different, like than where her dress was ending, but because she was not creating balance um, in the top along with the bottom, like her hips were looking very large, her waist looked tiny, and then her top looked very small as well. And so it was just like just a distraction from like I was listening to honestly what she was saying. She's telling me about the dress she was getting, and then like I saw that and I was like, what? And I honestly like I don't know what she said after that. I remember like I love this dress, and then it was like the rest of it gone because it was a distraction. And that's what your clothes could be doing to your people. It could be causing a distraction. Instead of the lean in, they're kind of like, what? And also, if you are wanting to really, which I know you female founder, you're like wanting to build trust with people. And a lot of times people will say, well, I want to look the part. I want to look put together. And you may think that has to do with like the brands you dress and like the styles you wear. And that definitely is, but the whole like put together part, a huge part of that is creating balance in your business wardrobe. And so you just gotta be intentional and making sure that that box is checked. Yes, I look balanced. Yes, everything is best for my body shape. So yeah, you really need to make sure so that you can really be seen and your message can go out of your mouth and people can take it in and really get that message, understand that message that you are telling them. Also, so um, what you wear visually makes people remember a certain way. And we went into this a little bit, like I said, with the Instagram post, and actually it was a story, but about how this woman, she was doing a story, and now what I remember, unfortunately, is that instead of remembering like, oh, she liked this dress, oh, I should buy this dress, I that's a new company I've never bought before, like da da da. Da. Instead, what I remember is, ooh, that dress did not look good on her. Nothing with her body. It's just she didn't style it right. She could have added some things to make it work to create that balance, but it wasn't. So that's what I remember um, from her. And visual is so important. Is like we in our brains actually can often tend to remember um, visual things better than just like words. And there's something called the picture superiority effect. I want you to think of like if you were, if someone were to uh, be teaching something on YouTube and they like write the words on the a blackboard or whiteboard like 50% of people do this, and they just write the words. Like, okay, you're seeing something, but what if they did a graph with 50%? You are much more likely to like understand that. And when your brain sees that visual, you actually process it differently. So when something is visual, we process it two ways. So if it's a word, it's just processed one way. If it's like a visual thing, it's actually so like the word cat. If we see a visual cat, it processes in our brain that picture of a cat. And then it also processes and gets stored like the word CAT. And so people tend to remember visual things more than just words. And so, like if you put that into perspective, if you create a visual, what do you want to be remembered like? Because you showing up is going to help them remember better than just a word. So, like if you're showing up on a reel on Instagram versus just one with captions, they are more likely to remember you, which is good. But how do you want them to remember you? Do you want them to remember you in a way where they felt connected to you? Do you want them to remember you in a way where they felt like they trusted you and were interested in what you had to offer? That all is the result of being intentional and aligning your brand business wardrobe with your brand. Um, so yeah, it helps you remember. Visual helps remember, but how do you want to be remembered by? And also, like they will um, be able to remember you better when you show visually and deliver that powerful message visually. And like, I just want you to think like, if you are intentional and you are communicating all the right things and, you show up and maybe they even just got one sentence or one belief from this reel that you had. Every time that they think of that phrase, their brain can go back to that image. And if you are like put together well, you have balance, you are communicating the right things, like they're going to be like, think higher and higher of you as they are thinking about that phrase and then putting your image with that. And if it's an amazing phrase and over, right, we know repetition is great for just remembering. The more we repetition that happens, the better people remember things. So remembering you to refer you to people that need someone in your industry, remembering you when they need you, and familiarity, the familiarity effect is something that like oftentimes the more that you are exposed to something, the more familiar you are with it. And um, the more trusting you are of it. So all of that stuff comes into play and has to do with, is your business wardrobe aligned to your brand? Is it saying the things that they want to say? Is it making you look put together? And all of that starts by having a brand aligned wardrobe. When that brand aligned wardrobes encompasses all of those things, so that when you go to put an outfit on, you are speaking those right things. You are being remembered as the person that you want to be remembered as. And thirdly, I want to go over, so we like when you have a brand aligned wardrobe, you can be seen better, remembered, and then hired. And as a Christian woman, female founder specifically, we talked about at the start, like how your message is so powerful. And that's why you need to really be able to speak that message and then have all of those three things that I just said happen when you're doing the speech or after as a result of it. So I want to talk about um, the last one about being hired and how, really you can use your business wardrobe when you are speaking to really help you build trust so that you can get hired. We know trust is a huge factor in getting hired. Also, fun fact, people are much more likely to pay premium prices when they trust a brand. Um, Even if like it's very similar um, things or even the same things, like people are more likely when they trust a brand to pay premium prices for it. So that's just like an interesting statistic. But I want you to when think of like your message and like who you're saying you are, who you're saying your business is. Like maybe you tell stories about yourself in your speech. Maybe you share a brief introduction about your business with a quick, like 30 seconds. So, what you wear says like who you are. It communicates your values. It communicates your like emotions. It's a reflection of your emotions. There's this really good book. It's called You Are What You Wear, and there's a um, psychologist, Jennifer. Oh, I feel it's like I'm trying to think of her last name, Bachner. It's a little hard to pronounce, but What You Wear. And there is a story about a woman that is feeling very bored with her wardrobe. And as a psychologist, but also stylist, like digs deeper, she realizes that um, this woman's is like bored with her life. And because of that, like her wardrobe was showing that. Like she was bored with her wardrobe because she's bored with her life. And so um, the psychologist that wrote the book said, like, your clothes often reflect how you are feeling. And so, like, being intentional so that like what you are trying to give off, the your essence, like if you're N or if you want to look like, energetic or, joyful, trusting, calm, and you kind of say that with your words and your stories, but what you're wearing is not saying that. There's that confliction. And I want you to think about like the word integrity. As Christian female founders, like we want to make sure we have integrity, right? Well, here's the thing, and I don't believe this happens because we intentionally, but like having true integrity is being able to show something, show who we are, what we're about, with our clothes and with our speech. And so, if you're trying to say like, um, I am a joyful person, and yet like you're not looking like that. And if we go with the theory that our clothes often speak what our emotions are, and people will associate those things together, they're not going to get that message that you're trying to say that you are this joyful, calm person, but you're wearing all these colors and pieces that are not saying that. So, that integrity of what we are saying visually and what we are saying with our words is very important. Um, just as being Christian women, and also it builds trust. Consistency is huge in trust. Like think of someone that says one thing but then does another thing. You're a lot less likely to trust them, right? Think of if you have a friend that you really like, that you've known for a long time and um, hang out with. What if she had like a different emotion every time you got together, or like seemed like a totally different person? You would not trust her as much because you're like, there's so much inconsistency on your emotions every day. And so we need that consistency. We need that really being authentic and like intentionally and having that your business wardrobe have that authenticity of who you are what values you have, what your business is like, and all of that, and really be remembered like that. And with all of that consistency, building trust, you are much more likely to get hired, right? So, those are the three things I really wanted to focus on today as a female entrepreneur, really understanding that when you are intentional with your wardrobe and your business wardrobe, and it is really communicating the right things, when it's making you look trusted, when people feel trusted, when they feel interested, you really will be seen and your message will come across as much stronger and much more powerful. You'll be more remembered and ultimately be hired. You're more likely to be hired, creating trust, creating that consistency and integrity with who you are, who you say you are and your business is, with your words, and also what you show them visually and that visual communication. So this was part two. Get ready for part three next week. If you have not watched part one, I'd highly recommend, because it just goes along with this. And yeah. So if you are really realizing that, oof, I might not be totally nailing all of my business outfits, I may not be as intentional as I should be with my business outfit so that I can really nail every message that I speak, whether it's on a stage or on Instagram, so that the message God has put in me can get clearly heard and understood and absorbed, and also so that I can get those clients that God has for me. Um, if you are feeling that way, I would love to invite you to a complimentary style consultation. We will chat quick and just see if it would be a good fit for you to get a done for you brand aligned wardrobe, for so that every outfit that you wear as you are speaking can really say those things that they need to align with your brand, align with your business, cause that integrity and that interest. Get those people's attention that you are supposed to help. And honestly, move them along more quickly from audience to clients. And you, I'm sure, have a goal in some form, whether it be money or clients. You have like some goal to either help more people or help them on the deeper level, right? Because as businesses, like if we're not growing as people, like the way God set it up, if we're not growing, we're dying, right? And so, your business wardrobe can really help you and your business grow. It can be such an amazing business tool to grow. So, if you're interested in that consultation, I will put a link below and how we can connect. But until now, know that Female Founder, I am cheering you on in your style. So, bye for now.